and welcome to Tools to Create a Better Life with myself, Glenyce Hughes. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you listeners, whether you're new here, you've been here a while, or maybe you've been listening since I started this show in 2013. Yes. Now, in case you don't know, you can go to my webpage, 𝘮𝘬𝘯𝘗𝘯𝘕𝑒𝑠.com, and find every show, download it, listen to it. You can also go to any podcast app, and there's actually two different shows. One is called The Glenyce Show, and one is called this, Tools to Create a Better Life. So on my webpage, all the shows, on the podcast app, they're actually over two different shows. So there you go. And this Tools to Create a Better Life is the one that gets added to each week. The Glenyce Show doesn't get added to anymore, but there's years and years of shows on there that will change everything as if by magic. Yes. So this week we are talking about tools to create a magical day. Now, this is actually inspired by my most loved, listened to, downloaded show called 10 Tips. I believe 10 Tips to Create a Magical Day. So we'll have a link to that in the show notes. If you're not familiar, you can get the show notes emailed to you every Sunday if you're on my email list. And if not, you can go to the 𝘮𝘬𝘯𝘗𝘯𝘕.com and find the show notes connected to this radio show. So this one might be duplicating. I'm not sure. I didn't actually re-listen to the show from all those years ago. These are ones that I actually use myself personally, and this is how I start my day pretty much every day. Let me change that. This is how I start my day every day. I'd like to create a magical day, because I know that a lot of times we think that if we have the tools, we're going to use them all the time and never stop. And sometimes I don't use them all the time. Now, probably 90% of the time I use them. That's probably where I'm at now if I was going to give myself a percentage. And there's still days, probably not a whole day. There's still times where I value the drama trauma more than using the tool to change it. Guess what? I'm not wrong. I'm not bad. It's not the most horrific thing I could ever do. It's not, guys. So please give yourself some space. If you've been new to these tools, or maybe you've been using them for a long time and you don't use them 100%, it's still not a judgeable offense. You're still not a judgeable offense. You're still not wrong. And that's why I wanted to share that, guys, is that every one of us is on a journey. Whatever we are, wherever we are in our journey, I have had access to these tools for 11 years. And prior to that, many other tools. And I still don't use them 100% of the time. Big deal. How's it get any better? So let's start. A tool to create a magical day is look at when you wake up in the morning and you're thinking about your day. Maybe you've got a calendar, or you're looking at, you're just laying in bed thinking about what you're doing that day. Anything that doesn't feel yummy, doesn't feel expansive, doesn't feel like you want to hop out of bed and do it. What I want you to do is just get the energy of that thing. So let's say you've got a meeting with your boss later that day and you've got some concerns around it. Maybe you've decided it's going to be a bad meeting, or maybe you're aware that they're going to talk to you about maybe a pay cut or something like that. So what we do with that is we have all of these energies, we have all of these decisions and judgments and conclusions and all this stuff. What we want to do is get rid of those. So what I do is I just bring up the energy of the thing. So I just think about it. That's basically the quickest way to do it. I just think about it, and then all my crazy comes up with it. And then I use what's called the crazy phrase in Access Consciousness, which means I just repeat it over and over. So here's the crazy phrase, super simple to use. In fact, think of something right now that you've got coming up. Maybe not today, maybe tomorrow, whatever. Something that you've got some of that energy around. Let's do it together. Okay? Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Everything is the opposite of what it appears to be, and nothing is the opposite of what it appears to be. Now, you just continue using the crazy phrase over and over until it changes the energy of it, until you can think about that upcoming event with really no energy on it. It's like, okay, I've got a meeting with the boss later. So that's what we're looking for with the crazy phrase, and you don't have to say it out loud. You can just repeat it in your mind. So you can do it while you're driving, while you're with a group of people, you can do it in the shower. It doesn't matter. You want to just be using that to break up all of that energy about the upcoming event. The other way you can use that tool is if you can't fall asleep at night, if you're stressing about something or worried about something, or your mind is just going, repeat the crazy phrase over and over. It'll put you straight to sleep. Another tool to have a magical day is to start asking questions. Really get in the space of, I wonder what's possible today that I've never even considered. What would it take to have more fun today than I've ever had before? What would it take for today to be more fun, phenomenal, and rewarding than I never imagined possible? What else is possible with this event I've got coming up today that I've never even considered? So you can mix and match and put all sorts of specific events in those questions. You can keep it open. It doesn't really matter. The way that I see it is that our mind is like a 2-year-old. And our 2-year-old is often in this space of, this is wrong, and this is wrong, and this is going to go wrong, and this is bad, and this is bad, and this is going to be worse, and all of this crazy. So we can't just take that away. If you've ever spent time with a 2-year-old and they're playing with something that isn't safe for them to play with, you can't just walk up and yank it out of their hands. You can, but that's not going to be fun for you. What you want to do is replace it. So you take the sharp knife out of their hands and you give them a teddy bear. This is how I deal with that mind of mine, is that I take the sharp knives out while giving my mind something else to do, which is how I use these questions. So let's say you're driving to work and you're worried about this meeting you've got coming up with your boss, and you're in that space where your 2-year-old is playing with knives. It's going to go so bad, it's going to go so horrible, it's going to be difficult, I'm going to lose, they're going to fire me, like whatever it is, doesn't matter. Take the knives away and go to question. I wonder what it would be like for this meeting to be more magical than I've never imagined possible. I wonder what it would be like for both my boss and I to be happy after the meeting. I wonder what it would be like for both my boss and I to be happy during and after the meeting. Whatever it is that you would truly like, make sure you're asking for that, because that can change everything. Everything. If you're willing to get into the question, the universe is always responding to our questions, 100% of the time. Often, though, what we're doing is we're asking questions that we don't actually desire responses to. We don't actually want that to occur, but we've trained our 2-year-old to go into the worst case scenario. We've trained ourselves to be caught up in trauma and drama and trauma and all the crazy, rather than turn it to question, which allows the universe to deliver that. I wonder what it would be like for both my boss and I to be happy during and after the meeting. The universe can deliver that if you're willing to ask for it, but it means taking the knives away and allowing yourself to ask for what you would like. And for so many people, they're not actually willing to be that present. There's so much more value in the trauma drama of an upset with a boss so that they can go talk to their coworkers, and they can talk to their friends, and they can talk to their family, they can talk to their, dietitian about how wrong their boss is. If we stopped valuing drama trauma and started valuing questions and being the question, truly just asking, like, what is possible here I've never even considered, which is why I love the I wonder so much. That's often what I'm replacing the crazy with my 2-year-old is the I wonder what it would be like for this to turn out better than I've never imagined possible. That allows all of the possibilities. That allows you to create a magical day, my sweet friends. Couple things I would like to invite you to is Clarity Nights every Wednesday. Starting March 30th, we are going to have Clarity Nights afternoons. So if you're in North America, they're in the afternoon. You can join live here at our acreage, or you can join live via Zoom, and we do have all the proper equipment, so the sound is awesome no matter if you're in the room or if you're online. And then of course we have, yes we do, pool party. Bars and foundation is set for July 2022. Yes, and that might also be, foundation might also be online. I'm not sure yet. Access hasn't said if we'll be able to continue to do online foundations for then, but for now it is live. The dates are set. You can find the link. If you've got any questions, just reach out. Another tool to have a magical day is something that we call in Access Consciousness the energy pull. So this one might seem a little bit weird, and use it. Just use it. You will see how not weird it is. Maybe it's still weird, and it works. So what you want to do, and you can do this before you get out of bed, you can just lay in bed for a few moments, or you can do it in the shower or when you're driving to work, it doesn't matter. But what I would like you to do is get the energy of what you would like your day to be like. So you might have some specifics. You might have that meeting with the boss later that you have on your mind, and you might really like that to go really well and to walk away really happy after it. And you don't have to have specifics, but what is the energy you would like your day to be like? The way that I like to ask it of myself is, what would I like my day to be like today? So not what would I like my day to look like, what would I like my day to be like? What would I like my day to be like? Oh, I'd like it to be expansive. Yeah, so there's an energy with that for me. There's just like a, yeah, okay, that yumminess, yeah. I'd like it to be sunshiny. That doesn't mean I'd like it to be sunshiny outside, but for me, sunshiny is actually an energy. So that might not be something that works for you. It doesn't matter, but that's just the energy, the word I can give to that energy. It's like, yeah. So there's an expansive, there's a sunshiny for me. There's a laughter energy for me. The more I can laugh in a day, the more magical my day is. So there's that energy, that laughing, giggly energy. That energy, yeah. And then there's also this energy. I'm giving words right now to energies that I don't necessarily have words for. So for the purpose of this, I'm giving it words, but just so you know, you don't have to have words for this, guys. I'm just doing it for the purpose of this. And there's this magic energy, which for me is like this potent magic energy. So those are the few energies that are coming up as I'm asking right now. So I'm getting all of those energies, and we can do it very quickly. What would I like my day to be like today? Boom, we've got it. Then what we do is we start energetically pulling that in. Yeah, which is more of a being than a doing. Don't get caught up if you don't really understand it. Don't worry. The more you play with it, the more ease it'll become for you. And you just start pulling all of those energies towards you. Yep, just pulling them in above you, below you, every direction around you. And you're pulling them into you, your body, your being, your day. Yeah. Now, if you have some specifics, if you're going to a meeting with the boss, what I also like to do then, I'm my boss and I don't often meet with myself, so it doesn't really fit, but I'm just being silly, is I actually get the energy of that meeting and I actually pull all of those energies into that meeting. So again, I know it's a being, not a doing, but I'm doing the best I can to give you the words so that you can play around with this and find your way. There's no right or wrong way with this. We'll put a link to an energy pull that I did, oh gosh, it was one of the very first YouTube videos I did in my weekly inspiration videos that I do. back in, I'm not sure, maybe it was 2015, 2016, I'm not even sure, but it's called something like Creating Your Future. And I'm in Australia, I'm standing on the beach, and I do an energy pull for your life and your living. So we'll put a link to that so you can go and watch that and get a bigger version of it if you would like one. But it can be that simple where you just, what would I like my day to be like today? And pull all those energies in. And then anything you've got going on in the day specific that you would like to add extra energies or more of those energies. And then you can do that all day long. Let's say it's 10 minutes before the meeting with the boss. You can go into the washroom, and not that you have to do this separate, but sometimes we would like to, especially if we're just starting out. You can go and you can pull all those energies in again. Yeah. And this is one of the most magical ways to create your day, to create your life, your living, to create everything you truly desire, as if by magic. Thank you so much for being here, guys. I'm so incredibly grateful for each and every one of you, and I look forward to chatting again next week.